Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, today is your second dose of your weekly salty batch files, and of course, we have some great examples here, so let's not delay, let's go ahead and jump to it. Right, so like I was saying, we got the Delusion on the table, that salt, the mines, all the kit and caboodle there, if you will. The first example here, we have RTX Curator. You may remember him by the name Xbox Curator, essentially. So let's just let this speak for itself for a moment here. As you can see, Xbox seeing Sony PlayStation crumble to dust before their biggest Xbox showcase ever and reversing their multi-platform strategy using the, of course, Homelander meme there. How it ended, though, him going all over the place again. What's it matter? Because didn't he go over to PC? Does it matter anymore? He can play everything over there, essentially, so to speak. But I digress. We keep going here. I wouldn't care so much about the fate of my Xbox console if I didn't have an effing game library on it, because I couldn't see any of this crap coming from a mile away 6 months ago. Just an FYI, just a little context here. No, I'm not afraid to cuss, but I do like to kind of keep these videos from getting too demonetized or anything like that, or having less of an algorithm. So that's why I kind of PG reading over those. So what he says though there, I get to a point, but again, everybody, made you fully aware of what was going to be happening, and you're still trying to spin it as you showed in the beginning there. You don't learn your lesson, but let's finish it off here. Xbox is dead. I had little hope that it was a hoax, but the wrong people took over. Now that they have games, they're committing platform suicide by porting all of their games to PS5. It's over, so rich that after their best showcase, their console dies by incompetence in leadership. So, I have to agree with Curator here a little bit as far as incompetence. There is to a point in the fact that they went all their chips in on Game Pass. I still don't think that was it. As far as wanting to be competitive in the hardware space, we'll see. That could turn around if they come out with the handheld console. Like I said, next generation might turn things around. That's the only way I could see them turning things around. But that multi-platform strategy is indeed set in place. And where I'm coming back at Curator here is, dude, you harped getting your games for, quote, free how many times? Just like the rest of you. Stop relying on a rental service. That is going to doom any ecosystem that you're on as far as you wanting any exclusives or for it to be competing in the hardware side of things. You put this plan into motion, and here we are. Let's keep going here. Now, I just want to quickly go over this piece here. Do you remember a couple videos ago I went over the post that Jez did in fact state he never claimed to be a journalist, and we went over that whole shabacle, if you will. That being said, I just wanted to show up here like you see here. I just want to reiterate, never claimed to be a journalist. Now, that's funny because here we go with these other two examples. Being followed by him made me feel more legit as a journalist than a blue tick ever could, LOL. Then again, got Twitter blue to see if it would boost engagement, seeing other journalists doing it, encapsulating himself to be, yes, you guessed it, a journalist. Now Elon made it so nobody can read your tweets. LMAO, literally pointless, man's clueless. So this is only a couple of quick examples of him claiming himself to be part of that journalist crowd. You see how full of crap this guy always is. Just kind of wanted to revisit this for a second and show you that, much like Jez and the rest of the Xbox figureheads on social media, they're all one and the same, but that's about what we can get from it, right? We shouldn't be surprised, but somehow I am, because I'm just like, you guys do understand that things on the internet live forever, so to speak. Maybe clean up your tracks a little bit and then post that stuff, but can't expect Jez not to be lazy here. But let's go here. Robo HTID. I don't know how he would pronounce that name, but whatever. If Starfield doesn't win Game of the Year this year, the gaming community is in shambles. This game is everything. The gameplay, physics, and everything else is unmatched. Now, I know what you're thinking, but hold on. Take a look at the post date here. 6/13/24. I don't know if you all want to break it to him, or should I, or should we as a whole, but Starfield doesn't get to try and go for Game of the Year twice. It had its go around last time and it did not win, much less any special category. It won a couple things, but definitely not Game of the Year or even came close to that. Competition was way too fierce. Starfield, in my opinion, would probably have to be alone in this category and for it to have a chance to win, but there's more drama behind there. However, I think it is great that he still feels it should win Game of the Year this year. It didn't get a fair shake last year, guys, so let's go ahead and enter it into this year's because it has more of a chance in between Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Stellar Blade, Astrobot, which I'm sure will be phenomenal, as well as other myriad of third-party games. I even think Hellblade 2 would have more of a chance getting Game of the Year over Starfield, but that's for another matter. So, let's keep going here. General MLD. Xbox fans starting to get used to the idea. If anything goes, fine. If not, then great. I'm starting to like the idea of Xbox games being more relevant on PlayStation than Sony-made games. He's starting to like the idea, so now the narrative changes again for MLD. He cannot come out with a W post for the life of this guy. The narrative changes every single day. At first it was like, it's not happening, there's no way it'll happen, blah blah blah. Every little shift, he continues to change his tune. And here we are at the point that he's now scrambling his own brain and is saying, well, if it has to happen, I'm just glad that Xbox is more relevant on PlayStation as a whole than their own PlayStation games, which is not necessarily the case. Yes, Sea of Thieves sold extremely well. Everybody was curious who didn't buy into the Xbox ecosystem. They were curious. This has got to be good by now. How many years ago did this game come out? I was one of those people that was very curious about the game. And I found out, even with the full squad, that this game is super, super boring, fighting the same type of NPCs. You sometimes come across some PvP stuff. It's boring. You're gathering gold, you're bringing it back, you're doing it. The game doesn't know if it wants to be a simulation between a pirate game and a simulation of it in reality, or a cartoon-based game with no real physics and consequences to behold. It's just super odd. It has potential for sure. The execution is just not there, and it's unfortunate it's still not there all these years later. There are some highlights to it for sure, but I'm not going to touch it probably ever again. It's that boring, and this is all fanboyism aside. I like games, and if a game is good, I will play it. This game is not good at all. I do not recommend it, and it's not to stop anyone from buying it, because everybody and their dog still bought it. If you feel like buying it, go ahead and do that. But again, I kind of got sidetracked there, but just kind of wanted to throw that out there. But the spinning that MLD does, coming back down to the ground, to the core of things here, is insane, as you can see. What in the world is going on? So now he's okay with it, though. He's made peace with it. There's always a narrative to be changed for MLD here. Let's quickly go over to the Catfish. Yes, Andrea Piccinini, Joseph Cruz, the Catfish themselves, rebranding themselves as Extension. Once again, bringing it up here. They do not, the Xbox community does not like Jeff Keighley. Showing Astrobot with the smiling Jeff, showing an entire slate of Xbox games from the showcase, and Jeff Keighley not having a great time, it looks like. So, what can we say here? I don't know why they have such a thing against Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley is honestly a good guy overall. He likes games. If anybody's a fanboy of anything, or we're going to say that Jeff is a fanboy of anything, it's going to be Hideo Kojima. And they're really good friends, and he is over the moon about anything the guy does. And rightfully probably so. He has a great artistic direction. I agree with that. But that's, if you're poking fun and want to make a case, that's what you can make a case of. But for him to deliberately be like he's a Sony fanboy, no, he knows what good games are, and that's what he likes. And he's never shied away from a good game if he found a good game to be on the Xbox ecosystem, whether it be first party or a timed third party exclusive. So I love the narrative that they love to run with here, change it up, whatever they want to do. Really bizarre, but let's keep going. Now, oh my gosh. Snap Blast hasn't been featured for a little bit here, but as you can see, he has some points here to be made. PS5 fans pretending to be hyped for, Concord, Lego Horizon, Spider-Man 3, Wolverine, VR games, third-party timed exclusives, more remakes and remasters, WTF. And there's no fake hype. As you can see, the console itself sells by the drone, sells by the millions. There's a reason behind that. The reason behind that is because Concord has something to prove. I know a lot of people are hating on it, but I still stand firm that it has something to prove. I may be wrong on that, I don't know, but there's potential. I'm not saying it 100% will, and I've said this in past videos, but it has potential. Just saying. Lego Horizon looks fun. Who doesn't like a good, solid Lego game? Does that mean you're not going to be hyped or enjoy your newest Star Wars Lego games? Does that mean you're not going to like your Indiana Jones Lego games, Jurassic Park, any sort of medium, DC Villains, the next Lego Batman if they do one of those, Lego Avengers, you name it, they're all good if they're very solid. So the fact that they're using this type of ray tracing and stuff, yes, it's going to be amazing. Spider-Man 3, of course we're excited. Who doesn't love Spider-Man? Most of us do. I know there's some of you out there that do not and do not care for that type of thing. That's understandable. But most of us out there, the general population, love Spider-Man and everything that is in that universe of Spider-Man. So yes, we are very excited. And of course, most of us also enjoy Wolverine and cannot wait to get our hands on that installment from Insomniac as well. If they've done as good with Wolverine, which I believe they will, as they have done with the care and prestige that they've taken care of with the Spider-Man IP, I rest assured that this will be good. It'd be amazing at the very least. VR games. Yes, if you're into VR games, there's a lot of great fun to be had with VR games. What's the overhype? Now you can't be hyped for VR games? Sorry, Mr. Gatekeeper. Third-party timed exclusives? Yes. Yes. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Rise of the Ronin and those are all amazing and great games. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was and should be probably the game of the year. It is my game of the year easily until Astrobot or something else comes out this year that just totally blows my mind, perhaps. I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has a very strong, competitive chance to, of course, take home that title easily. And then, of course, more remakes and remasters. You know what? If it gives up a new trophy list and we're seeing stuff from Sly Cooper, Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, any other older IPs, or great and classic IPs, then why would we not be excited to play amazing games? You tell me. So what's this WTF about? Are you that upset? You have your slate released for this year at some point, and you're still upset of all the goodies that PlayStation has gotten and continue to get. Cope, Seeth, Punch Air, whatever you want to do. Just odd. Now, let's go ahead and end this video with one final piece here. Now, of course, Gaz likes to be featured pretty often. I thought this, again, is another tone-deaf, delusional, another world type of post. So, the games, the joy, and the tears, the Xbox Showcase generated so much hype for Xbox and so much bitterness from the stables, meaning PlayStation fans calling them ponies. I go live at 10 p.m., blah, 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 discuss it all and more. I don't understand where the bitterness is coming from. Not one PlayStation fan or even normal fan overall is bitter about the Xbox Showcase. They had some really cool games to show. It was a great showcase. Who's bitter about this? The conceptualization that the Xbox community figureheads, the mouthpieces like Gaz, Cold Eastwood, Alex, all these people, they have a grift to run. And so the narrative is that PlayStation fans like myself and others just genuinely disdain and have a lot of disdain and hate towards Xbox and their games. That's not the case. If a game is good, a game is good. And a PlayStation true fan that's not crazy, there are some PlayStation fans that are crazy. You can't help any fan base out there. There's going to have those weirdos out there for sure. But the majority of PlayStation fans, and myself included, are not upset about great Xbox games. Not once have I ever came out and said, I don't want Xbox to be competitive. It's frustrating, like I've said multiple times, that they have not been. The direction that they went, I've never agreed with Game Pass. I don't believe that leads to a competitive nature in regards to hardware and making companies compete against each other to where the consumer comes out to win. So this bitterness that Gaz comes up with is all about the grifting. He knows it, I know it, most of you out there know that, and it's really, truly pathetic. One day, these folks are going to look back and be like, man, I was an absolute idiot all these years, an absolute moron. But I'm all about the grifting is what they're saying. They know deep down inside, internally, talking to themselves in the mirror, I'm all about the grift. I'm all about those likes. I'm all about the everything that gets me where I need to be, because the sheep do follow the herd. That being said, we'll end it there, folks. I appreciate it. If you stuck around for the entirety of the video, thank you so much. Really appreciate that support. Again, we are at such a close gap to get to that 2,000 subscriber goal. We just keep climbing. Thank you all so much. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video. Would love to hear from you. Comment down below. Those two things definitely do help the algorithm and helps me out. And also, if you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing, helping out a small content creator like myself. That being said, I do want you to remember, of course, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And until then, take care.